Shalam exposed. The El Paso Times, December 2, 1888. Failure of the vegetarian colony near Las Cruces. How one woman was deluded into joining the colony, barefaced lies and false promises. A class of Boston girls that did not materialize. Mrs. E. M. Campbell, an English lady who bears excellent testimonials, arrived yesterday with her young daughter from Las Cruces, or rather from Shalam, the vegetarian colony above Las Cruces. Mrs. Campbell says she was beguiled to the colony by the false promises of the leader of it. She is now anxious to find work in this city. I want to tell how I was deceived and deluded in joining the Shalam vegetarian colony near Las Cruces, said a comely matron, pleasant-voiced woman about 50 years of age to a Times reporter yesterday. It is not merely for the purpose of telling a sensational story that I come to you, but because I want to warn other women who may perhaps be in danger of being deceived as I was. The Shalam colony, of which everybody living in this part of the country has heard, is a settlement on the Rio Grande, a few miles above Las Cruces. It was founded several years ago and is said to have been quite prosperous at one time. It was made somewhat famous by the connection of Dr. Tanner, the renowned faster, with it. But let Mrs. Campbell tell her story. I am from England, she said, and I am a widow with a daughter 13 years old. I came to America 4 years ago. Last September I was teaching in New Orleans, when J.B. Newbrough, who is called Doctor, and who is the present leader and, I believe, was the founder of the Shalam colony, offered me $20 per month, and board for myself and child if I would come out to his colony and teach. He said he had a class of girls from Boston whom he wished me to teach. He had with him a woman whom he calls his wife, and she also said there were some girls from Boston at the colony. Dr. Newbrough brought from New Orleans 6 foundling infants varying in age from 6 weeks to 8 months, and these, I was astonished to learn, on arriving at the colony, were the only class of girls I had to teach. I saw at once that I had been deceived, but I had no money to get away, so I was compelled to remain and do the menial work assigned me. Finding that I could neither send nor receive mail through Dr. Newbrough, I sought aid in this direction from the Reverend Mr. Harwood, a Methodist clergyman from Las Cruces, who was very kind to me. But I did not conform submissively to all the rules of the colony, so last Thursday I was told to leave. I was paid only $12 per month, and as I was left without sufficient means to get back to New Orleans, I have come here to earn money for that purpose. Mrs. Campbell brings a letter of recommendation from Mr. Harwood to the Reverend Mr. Cynic of this city, and she seems to be worthy of all the aid that can be extended to her. She says the Shalam colony has dwindled to about 15 persons, including the infants. Nothing is grown by the colonists and their means of support was unknown to her, though they had plenty of good food. The vegetarian rule is rigidly observed except that children are allowed milk up to till they are 5 years of age. After that age is reached, no one is allowed milk, eggs, butter, or any animal food.